I am looking at this back page and we have got a lot going on. So don't worry, don't get overwhelmed. We'll just break it up into chunks. Let's look at number 9. Number 9 says place the following numbers in order: 5/6, 1/4, 0, 1/2, and 1/2. Now, when we talk about numbers in order, we're talking about least to greatest. So as you look at the list of numbers, what's the lowest number? 0 is the lowest number. That's the smallest number. And then we need to figure out which fraction would be closest to 0. So it's the next smallest number. So we really have to think about what these fractions mean. If it helps to draw fraction number lines or look at fraction bars, please use your tools. When I think about 5/6, I know that that's just one piece away. 6/6 equals the whole. So 5/6 is very close to a whole. So really it comes down to 1/4 and 1/2. Which is closer to 0, 1/4 or 1/2? Fourths are smaller pieces than halves, so 1/4 is closer to 0. So if these were on the number line, they would be in this order. So we have 1/4, then we know 2/4 comes next, or 1/2. And then we know 5/6 is over the half. 3/6 is 1/2, so we have 5/6. We also know that's just one piece away from the whole, 6/6. Let's go ahead and do number 10 together. Same instructions. We know that 0 is the smallest number. It's the least amount. Does 1/5 come next, 8/10, or 1/2? So in order to do this, we have to look at the fractions and really think about how they compare. 8/10 catches my attention just because I know 5/10 equals a half. So I know that 8/10 is over the half. That helps me narrow it down. It's between 1/5 and 1/2. This is a little bit like number 9. Fifths are smaller pieces than halves. So 1/5 would come next. Then we would go to 1/2. And then 8/10. And then the whole. Go ahead and work on number 11, 12, 13, and 14 on your own, and then we'll look at number 15. Okay, number 15. 2/6 compared to 1/2. How many sixths does it take to make a half? It takes 3/6. So we know that 2/6 is less than 3/6. Number 16, 3/8 compared to 4/6. That's a little bit harder. It might help us to look at the half for both of those. I know that 3/8 is just less than 4/8. 4/8 is 1/2. So 3/8 is just a little bit smaller than a half. And I know that 3/6 is equal to the half. 4/6 is just a little bit farther than the half. So 3/8 is smaller than a half. 4/6 is bigger than a half. 3/8 is less than 4/6. Number 17 is a lot more obvious. 4/5 is just one piece away from the whole. 2/12 is very close to 0. It's just two tiny pieces away from 0. So 4/5 is greater than 2/12. Looking at number 18, 1/4, 8/10. Again, you can think about how they relate to the half. 1/4 is less than a half. 8/10 is over the half. 8/10 is almost a whole. 1/4 is closer to 0. So 1/4 is less than 8/10. Go ahead and work on numbers 15 through 26 on your own, and then start the video again for number 27. Number 27. Jessie had a pizza divided into 6. She ate 2/6 of the pizza. Rachel had a pizza that was the same size, but it was divided into 8s. She ate 4/8 of her pizza. Who ate more pizza? How do you know? Now, you could always draw pictures, so you could always draw some pizzas. You could draw Jessie's amount of 2/6. You could draw Rachel's amount of 4/8. Just try to make sure that your holes are the same sizes. Notice that it tells us the pizzas are the same size. Now really what we're doing is we're just comparing 2/6 to 4/8. So we're comparing Jessie to Rachel. And I know that 4/8 is a half, and I can see that in my picture. 2/6 is so close to the half. 3/6 equals a half. 2/6 is just less than the half, and you can see that in the picture. So we know that Rachel ate more pizza, and it says, how do you know? So I think I'll put Rachel, she ate half. Jessie ate less than 1/2. And put 2/6 is less than 4/8. So when you're explaining how do you know, really all of this is an explanation. A picture explains how you knew. Your sentence explaining it, that's how you knew. We have the comparison statement. All those are good ways to explain how do you know. Go ahead and do number 28 on your own, and then we'll look at number 29 together. Okay, number 29. Jake and Peter ran in a 1-mile race. After 4 minutes, Jake had run 4/6 of a mile, and Peter had run 3/8 of a mile. Who had run the farthest? If the runners keep their pace, who do you predict would finish the race first? So we're comparing Jake's distance. He's already ran 4/6, and Peter has already ran 3/8. So we're comparing 4/6 to 3/8, and we have Jake versus Peter. Who has ran the farthest? This really comes down to which fraction is over half and which fraction is just under half. I know that 4/6 is 1 piece over 3/6. 3/8 is just under the halfway point. So Jake has ran farther than Peter. Now, when we're talking about distance, that's perfect for drawing a number line. So we can go ahead and put Jake down. They're running a 1 mile race. So this will be Jake, this will be Peter. Jake has already ran 4/6, which is right here. And Peter, he has ran 3/8. So 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. That's how far Peter's ran. Who do you predict would finish the race first? Notice that it says if the runners keep their pace. That means that they're just going to keep running at their same speed. So Jake is going to keep running as fast as he is, and Peter, he is not going to go any faster. So who do you predict would finish the race first? Okay, Jake. So Jake has run the farthest. And we can predict he will finish first. Okay, go ahead and finish number 30. Use those benchmarks 0, 1/2, and 1 whole to help you compare those fractions.